I think everything evolves over the years. In actual fact, there's only one change from what it was in '69, and that's Richie Blackmore left 5 years ago. And first of all, we had Joe Satriani for a year, and then we settled on Steve Morse became our permanent guitar player. And he was a unanimous choice. I mean, he was the only name that was on everyone's list of paper because we had a little vote. And I think everything changes. I came to the conclusion some years ago that the only impediment to our progress was our history. It's another one of those things because everyone starts talking about what you've done in the past, which is very nice, but you've got to remain progressive for your own sake as much as anything else. Yeah. And I think the audiences respect that. I remember seeing that we've had a very up and down kind of career, and I think you learn from those things. I remember back in the 70s, one minute everything was going crazy, the next minute you go back on the third visit in a country, maybe it was Germany or something like that, and you notice the response isn't quite the same, the audiences aren't quite as hot as they were earlier in the year, and you think, well, it can only be because we're just doing the same songs over and over again and we haven't progressed really. So you put some more into it, and Bob's Your Uncle, you know, a couple of years later they're all back again, or a different crowd are back. And I think what happens is you tend to get complacent, sometimes you get tired, sometimes you have family problems, you know. And it is like a family. I have two families, my musical family and my domestic family. And it's true, sometimes you stay together just for the sake of the kids, you know. It happens in music too. And I think that was a big problem with us. And I saw confidence levels going down. And when that happens, you start playing safe. And you don't push yourself to the limits that you really should be, which is, I think, probably one of the key elements to Deep Purple. It was always dangerous. You never quite knew how far we could push it. And that danger is back now, and I think that's why the crowd's a bit sensational.
By 1995, Deep Purple had shaken themselves down and recruited former Dixie Dregs guitarist Steve Morse for the lineup, which shows no sign of losing steam 4 years later. The first album that this lineup released was the excellent Perpendicular, which saw the band pushing in all directions with an energy and enthusiasm that promised much for the new lineup.
On the road now on this tour since started in Turkey in June last year, I think, and we played to over 1 million people so far on this tour, and they're all very young and they know all the words, and it's weird, very strange. I said to my daughter, who let all the kids in, she said, "You don't get it, Dad." Deep Purple is really cool. So, yeah, thank you very much.